Shalom, Yahweh Bashim Yasar Patah. Yahweh Shamar Latham Bashim Yashar. It's ISUPK Lashawan Friday class, man. It's preaching also 51 holding it down, man. We about to go over these Hebrew basics. Definitely, of course, y'all can see what's on my board right here, man. I got that Hebrew alphabet. Of course, the history behind this, you feel me? This is our language, man. As Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, this has been our language for 6,000 years, man, since we've been alive. It's been bastardized and taken away from us, to the Ashkenazi Jews try to create his own little language and destroy what we are as a people, you feel me? That's why we speak Spanish or, we actually, got English as a language today when it's not really our original tongue, you feel me? At the end of the day, man, this is us right here, man. And we about to go over the basics today, man, so y'all can understand. I'm about to go over also a few common words and stuff, that you'll probably hear coming to class. And I know you probably wondering, like, what is this? What is that? In the end of the day, I'm about to go over it right quick. Give me 1 second. Baba Kishra. That means please. By the way, go over it 1 second. Go to something right quick. All right, so it's a bet. 1 second, Shalaki. All right, so bet we're about to get into this right quick. Of course, we're gonna start with, the I. Of course, you may see it, and you might not. You look at the board and you see it right here, and you don't know what you're looking at. This is actually the ancient history behind that. This is what we speak. You're just writing it out. For instance, like let me give you something right quick. Let's start it right here. The pronunciation first is I, ba, ga, da. Ha wa za ka ta ya ka la ma na sa I pa ta za ka ra sha ta. That's your ancient right there. And of course, you also got the Assyrian as well. You feel me? That Assyrian, that's one of them harder learners, for people to grasp. But of course, we're gonna work with you every Friday so you can understand it. You feel me? So what I'm gonna do is so y'all can actually see it. I know y'all can see it right there, but I'm actually gonna write it for you, so you can understand. You can definitely understand right quick. So I'm going to take my marker right quick, write this for y'all so y'all can get a grasp of what we're looking at. Hold on 1 second. All right, so we got the I. How I remember it, honestly, is it's look like a sharp mouth or really a less than sign, right? You take it like that, right? Boom. Boom. And that's the first part of it. You got a line going through it right there. That's kind of how I remember it. That's your I. So what you first see this is right here. This is your ancient. And to order to understand, this your ancient right here. So of course you got the ancient and you got the Assyrian, you feel me? So right here we put ancient, And then this is I. So right here, you got AH. Hold on, it's like it. Mark kind of trash right there. It's an I. All right, so I'm gonna ask you a question right quick since you're in the classroom. This the ancient right here. How do we get this? How do we get that I sound? What do you call that? No sweat. All right, so this is called a transliteration. A transliteration is a transfer of sound. A translation is a transfer of meaning. So when you got a transliteration, it'd be your I. That's how you get it back to the English. And if I'm not mistaken, you turn it about 90 degrees. That's how you get that right there. And of course, with the Hebrew, that's what it that's what it portrays to be. You feel me? That's what it is. So this is your ancient. Of course, your Assyrian. Slovakia. 1 second. With your Assyrian. 1 second. It'll be this right here. I'm gonna write it right quick. With your Assyrian for this, the I kind of looks like if I had to say what it looked like an X in a way. You feel me? It's kind of like a broken X almost, but it is an X. So put that right there. It looks like an X almost. So you got your Assyrian right here. So So you're right, Syrian, Assyrien. And then your Assyrian is kind of like a X like that, kind of like that, like an X almost. Boom. And then that still is I. So you put that equal. I just put an equal sign just so you can know. Then put an H. So it's still your I right there. You got it? No sweat. So that's your I. Of course, give you one common word. Let's see. Pick a word right quick. It's like saying I to one. That's the first part right there. I to one. Do you know what I to one means? It can. It's technically. You say kind of what kind. It's like. I write it out. It's yes sir. Technically, be yes sir yes. That's what it would translate back to. Or use another one right quick. Ayanda bar. You know what that means, right? hmm So that's what it means. So that's just using the first part of I. You feel me? That's what you're looking at right there. Just using those word examples in simplicity. Yeah, pass the sister the mic. So that's your ancient right here. And you see your ancient right here as well. That's what it'd be for I. Then your Assyrian, it looks like kind of say like an X almost. And that's what it would be. You feel me? So that's just the basics. Of course, we got more to get through, but I'm gonna give y'all some common Hebrew words as well. Besides this right here, you feel me? We're gonna break down the letters. But I'm gonna give y'all some, common Hebrew words, we use in the school. Definitely, like I said, yonder bar, out of one, these different words that, we're taking from our language. That's our language, that's our customs, our culture, you feel me? And definitely, the oppressor got us speaking English. That's why I always question how you say Arkansas, but say Kansas is Kansas. Why isn't it Arkansas? I always question. I always use it as an example when I'm teaching because it's just how terrible their language is. And we got to get back to this. This right here is how we, for instance, say you're having a conversation with somebody. Let's use a quick analogy right quick. And you saying, you give somebody a salute. You should be in the habit of saying, "Ma shalomka," which means "How is your peace?" or "How are you?" You feel me? Or "How are you doing?" Instead of saying "How are you?" saying it in the English, you should get in the habit of saying "Ma shalomka." It's M-A-H, shalom, and then ka at the end. Or you would get in the habit of they respond with "Shalom yatawab," which means "I am good." You feel me? So it's one of the things to where we got to get back to our roots and our traditions and talk to each other in our native language instead of talking in this bastardized language that the oppressor has oppressed us with. Our brothers in the Spanish, they got to get away from that Spanish. Our sisters and brothers, we got to get back to this. And this, should be what we understand, what we know at the end of the day. Hold on. Hey, young man G, young man girl. Hey, shalom, yashta. Sister Patricia, shalom, yashma, Hashem, yashah. Sister Monisha. Shalom Yashua. Oh, Shalaki. Shalom Yashua. Yashua. You got anybody else in? Oh, this way. See, I did class. So this way. But yeah, that's the I right there, man. That's something small, but we going to go even further because you got to learn how to write these things too. Just not media here. Y'all got to be able to just be at home, to your kids, pass that traditions down to our kids, you feel me, so they can understand it. You feel me? Let me go into one common word that, like I was talking earlier. Let's go to it right quick. My phone. Go to the yonder bar right quick. Let's go to. Yeah, you're welcome. And yonder bar. We're gonna learn to say it. We're gonna learn how to write it. We're gonna get it right. 1 second. I bet. All right, so I'm gonna erase this right quick. So you got the I?
Huh?
No sweat.
So I do have a quick question though.
What's good?
So then why is it that there's some people out there who say that their original language, instead of Hebrew, they'll say it's Aramaic? Why do people say that?
Aramaic. It's coming from the different time periods we were in. I think if I'm not mistaken, it's 14 captivities we were in the Bible. A lot of, I just really tell anybody with that. 14? hmm Islam, yeah. So it's not our traditions. A lot of these captivities we've been in the Bible, we basically picked up a lot of stuff through our captivities. Even if you go as far as Antiochus and uh, some man, as Alexander the Greek, that captivity went in through them. You know, we were told that we couldn't keep any of the Bible and we get put to death. A lot of stuff we went through is what we picked up. We picked up their traditions. That's why even with the oppressor through slavery, you feel me? We went through eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster through him. A lot of that stuff got pushed on us, even his language, his traditions. So a lot of Aramaic, you know, that different learning style came from somebody else that wasn't us. That's all it is. You feel me? So in simplicity, that's what we just gotta get back to this for because all them bad habits we picked up, it really did nothing but tore us down as a people. You feel me? It really put us in a situation to where now the native language for us coming out of the womb is English instead of Hebrew. Now our babies are growing up learning English instead of Hebrew when it should be the other way around. Our babies should growing up speaking this right here. That's why it says teach it to your children in Deuteronomy. You feel me? It should be something that our children understand and know. They should be able to say, you know, probably about 2, 3, or probably even, you know, the if I'm not mistaken, the language like the age you learn at the best is like 3 to 7. By 7 years old, our kids should be able to speak Hebrew. You feel me? They should be able to speak our language and not the oppressor's language. You feel me? We want to learn Spanish or learn French or Portuguese, all the different languages. We should learn Hebrew. You feel me? This is the language that's, you know, been taken from us through our oppression, and that's as simple as, you know, as it is. You feel me? Let me get to the ancient right here. Somewhere that was right in the ancient. Yeah, can y'all see this? Hold on. I wrote kind of small. Let me see something. I got you. I wrote kind of tiny on the board. My bad. Somewhere right. Y'all see this black, by the way? If you're online, I'm about to write something. I say, hey, y'all see that? Okay, bet. So y'all get the meaning behind the transliteration, right? Everybody online viewing. Because that's one thing we don't, with the wording of understanding of things, we don't really in the precedence of it for real. Ancient. See something? Okay, bet. Then we gonna go to the ba. Now the ba look kind of like, if I had to say what it looked like, personally, it looked like a G backwards. But you know, that's just the how I view it. Honestly, I've been looking at it so long. But of course, you know, if you view it online, you'll kind of get used to it at your own pace. And then that's why I said like right here, it just take time. You feel me? Because it's you got to realize like even coming to class and learning these scriptures, you know, it's one of the things that it takes time. You trying to erase Christianity that's been in your mind, Islamic, whatever been in your mind for all these years, and now it's like a reset. Now you're learning your language again, and now you can say the salute. That's one step. Then when you get to the point where you're speaking full sentences, that's step 2. Then now we should be able to go in public and be at that point to where we can just talk to one another, and now it's just like, you know, it's natural. You feel me? It's natural because we communicate when it comes, like how I brought up the example, my shalomka. Uh, how is your peace? How are you doing? It's responding with Shamla Tawab, which is I am good. We should be able to be on that type of level with our language to where we can just talk and have full conversations, drawn out conversations, just how we talk when we talk about anything else in simplicity. We're going to get to that point though. It'll take a little time. We'll get there though. See, we get there though. Let's see something. So like it 1 second. Mm-hmm. 1 second. So the Assyrian for this one, I got you with this one. Watch this. Looks kind of like a hangman. That's how I remember it. It's kind of like this. Watch this.
Slakia, did you say a hangman? Is that
Yeah,
what you
it's
said?
similar. It's similar to like the hangman. I guess you would say symbol, without like the the person, of course. And that's how I remember it. I always with the Hebrew, I kind of remember like the shapes and like the symbols to make it easier to understand. You feel me? Because it's like this is our language. We ain't never seen on this before. To coming to the school. You feel me? And to gaining that understanding. It's like you'll see this. It look like a regular L, but that's a lie. You feel me? You'll see this. That's a ma, but it just looks like a Y with an extension. You feel me? And it's turned to probably like a 25-degree angle. You feel me? And then you got the na, and then you got this, the sa, the I, pa, and the taza, because the ta and the za right there. You feel me? So it's just one of the things to where, since it hasn't been taught to us, and we're relearning it, it looks all familiar. That's all it is. At the end of the day. So that's why I use like symbolism of how I remember something. Feel me? Like with the ba, I look at it like a hangman for the Assyrian. See something? Mhm. See something? Yeah. See? That's the ba. So you got the ancient and Assyrian. Of course, that's to get back to this, it's transliteration, of course. Transfer of sound. That's really simple. Get it? That's what. So go with some common words right quick that we would say in class or anywhere. We already went over Ayana Bar. That's you're welcome. So we're gonna go over thank you, which is the water. Let's see. Write the English right quick. Write the ancient. Connect this with there. Write this right quick. Mhm. Uh, so we got the water. But I'm just put the connectors up right there for y'all. The water. Okay, bet. All right, so this is tawada. So it's a ta, which is right here, and then right here. You got a wa, it's like dawada, David, King David's name. You got a wa, it's right here. A da, which is like the basically triangle. And then a ha. Where's my ha? Wa, ha. Which look like a backwards F almost. And then you added connectors. Connectors is basically just combine the sounds. Because when you translate it back to the English, of course, the ha has an A on the end, but back to the English, you take the A off. It'd be like this. Da. Wa. It's how it be in English. Water. Simple. Sanjay? Yeah. Got no sweat. I'm gonna break. Yeah. Break down like, y'all need, because y'all definitely need this right here. I got you. That's the water, so let's thank you. Let me go over. Kind. Let's get into that. Or let's go Yonder Bar right quick, so y'all can at least know how to thank you. You're welcome. That definitely helps in the situation. I would say the situation is like, for instance, in the world of somebody, of course, do something for you, say thank you. Just start emphasizing the water. It makes it easier. The easiest way to learn, even the translation, the meaning of the word, or even just know how to say it. Tune in the class, of course, but also just emphasizing using it. Use it in your text messages. Use it in class when you see somebody. Even me now, I text like that. I talk like that. It's because we're trying to take back our roots. We're trying to get back to our culture. The oppressor wants you to say thank you, or even when you say you're welcome, you say, which really it's like no problem technically in English. You'll say you're welcome in English instead of saying, Yonder Bar. We got to get back to our roots. So, of course, learning this language, learning our language is very important. It's present that we do it so that we can start eventually getting to the point to where we can have full sentences, eventually where we can have full conversations, and it's just natural to where we could just talk and it's like, yeah, and then people see us and be like, what y'all talking about? Oh, no, it's nothing, man. Oh, for real? And we can be that way, you feel me, with our people. But of course, we got to get in class. We got to understand this. We got to be there every Friday class and gain that understanding so that we understand our language, understand what we saying to each other. You feel me? Get to that point. And with that, we'll see y'all next week. Preaching Officer 5001 Yahawada, holding down the Lashawan Qadash Friday class. Shalom.